Evening. We're going to start the Selectmen's meeting of July 13th. And the first thing, first of all, the first thing I'd like to say is that we, over the weekend, a West Newbury resident, Donald Fowler, passed away. So I just, at this meeting, I just wanted to recognize him and his devotion to the town. I think if anybody has been on social media, in the last day or two, the outpouring of support to his family is immense, and I didn't realize how many people he really touched, and I thought I knew him well. So I just wanted to send our, as the selectmen, send our thanks for just his devotion to the town and our thoughts to his family.
Well said.
And thank you. And that we'll be having our and another thing I'd like to do, and we can do this at a later date, but I'd like to have a proclamation from the President and all past selectmen, how we do a proclamation for individuals from the town of West Newbury, from all present and past selectmen, given to the family, for his devotion to the town, and we can do that at a later date. But I'd like to be able to get that in the works. There's a few things that need to happen about that. Okay, the first thing on the agenda would be the appointments. And we have a gentleman here who would like to be on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Would you come up, please? The only thing you missed, we said a few words about Donald. Yeah. Yes, sir. Is that microphone on? And there's nothing that you had already not known that we had talked about the flags being lowered, and then we're going to do a proclamation from President past selectmen. I'm just thanking him for his contributions
Yeah.
and his just devotion basically to the town of West Newbury. And then the service is going to be on, calling hours will be on Saturday, and there's going to be a service at the Congregational Church on Sunday, followed by a reception, celebration of life after it at the Old Town Hall, at the Town Hall.
Do you have times on those, Glenn? I hate to interrupt, but
I
I
no.
could send it to the paper right now and they could get it in if I had the times. You know, okay.
It's 2 to 4, 6 to 8, and on Saturday in Merrimack. But yeah.
Okay, that's
Mary Ann, she just called me before I left.
That's fine.
And then she has to talk to the Reverend at the Congregational Church to nail down the times for Sunday.
Okay,
Because
that's
then he's leaving. That's why they kind of want to do it this weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Nope, no problem.
Okay, your name?
Brandon Hayes.
I don't have this. There you are. Any questions of us, or you guys have any questions of him?
Do you know what the Zoning Board of Appeals is, what they do, time commitment involved?
Yeah, they said they meet 1 to 2 times a year, be familiar with the zoning laws. It's 97 pages of...
Just can you talk a little louder?
Sure. And that was all I got. Said the
What made you come forward to
empty.
want to volunteer?
There was someone who said that there was a bunch of seats empty on a bunch of committees in town, and I said that I'd like to sit on one, and the Conservation Commission meets 2 times a month, and zoning meets twice a year. So
You want to just get your feet wet a little bit, put your toes in,
a little bit.
so to speak.
Sure.
Great, awesome. Any questions?
No.
This is Mike McCarron. He is our town clerk and town council.
Hello. I am going to object to Brendan. We had to, as a town, bring an action against him for violating the zoning law, and it was ultimately settled, but I don't know if it's appropriate to have that as a resume and going on to the Board of Appeals. Additionally, there was an issue with the Conservation Commission. So while I applaud his action to become part of the town, and maybe there is some community contribution that would be something that he would be in, I think that the Zoning Board of Appeals, which is a quasi-judicial organization, is not appropriate at this time.
What was the zoning?
The issue was that he was basically teaching, running, teaching dogs, dog instruction, having people come to the house and running a business there. The building inspector gave a stop order, and we eventually had to, and we settled it by him agreeing not to violate the zoning, not to conduct an illegal business in that zone. He did, subsequent to that, comply with getting a personal kennel license, which he was, and then the animal control officer did inspect his property and found that it was in compliance and appropriate, which is fine. I just feel that as a zoning board of appeals member, having that history and as the first job might not be the most appropriate.
When was all this?
What?
When was all this?
This was about 2 years ago.
So
after
to be the
first-
devil's advocate, would not an individual that might have done that,
Mhm.
then saw the errors of his ways and got into compliance, and then finally got the proper thing, would be a proper person on that board, because then he would understand what he did wrong. Maybe he was naive,
That
like a
could
lot
be.
of people in this town are, and we have a lot of complaints about how things have handled when they're giving out business permits to individuals, and then they're told that they can't do what they're doing in the town. Wouldn't you say that he would have maybe a history and maybe even help the board? I'm
you
giving both sides.
can
Because
express
this
that
is a-
opinion, but I don't agree. I mean, that, I'm not saying that you're wrong, that's an opinion. My own feeling is that I would encourage him to become part of the town and to enjoy it, but I don't know if this particular position is one that is the most appropriate.
I would ask to table it and not say yes or no,
Well,
and
here-
yeah,
I'd
Yeah,
like to hear,
yeah.
before we decide.
yeah, that's true, Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, Brendan, I'd like to hear
Yeah,
what you have
that's
to
true,
say
that's
about
true.
that, yeah.
Most-
You need to speak right into the microphone. sir.
Sure. I mean, that's basically the reason why I picked that board versus any other board outside of the time constraints, was people are naive to what goes on and what you can do and can't do at certain places, and it'd be nice if you had someone who can convey that to people in the town. Doesn't it make me a better candidate? Arguably? I mean, it's only
I would just ask,
Mike's opinion.
in relation to Mr. McCarron's thoughts, do you feel you would be going on there with it, with an agenda that you would think that most zoning laws are not a good idea, or you're
No,
going in
don't
with an
be-
open
no,
mind?
that's not even close. Are there some zoning laws that are probably poorly written? Yeah, and there are probably some that are written fine. The idea is to help the community grow together, not to segregate people into certain places, or, if we can give more leeway to people who want to do certain things at their home that help the community, I think we should be giving more leeway. If we need to cut away, it seems that, they're doing a detriment to the people around them, then we shouldn't. But isn't that the zoning board of appeals' job to decide?
Are you done with that question?
Go ahead.
Because I have a question.
Sure.
I look at it more like the Supreme Court. You're making sure that you enforce the present laws that we have, not giving people leeway on or making up amendments to the laws that we presently have. So if we have a zoning law, you're just making sure that you look at it fairly,
That
and you
people are in
take
compliance
all
with
the
it.
information in, and then you make a decision based on the laws that are on the books presently.
Sure.
That's what I would assume. I mean, that's basically.
Yeah, have they followed it or not followed it? And,
Mhm.
if they're not following it, then it's up to the person that's in violation. I mean, they can appeal it through the court system then.
Yeah. You know what I mean
Sure.
by that? It's almost like
Yeah.
that zoning board doesn't have.
Makes the job easier.
Yeah, really, in my eyes, it doesn't really have that much leeway. It might
Right.
have a little bit, because everything has a little bit of leeway.
Not much interpretive.
Exactly.
Sure.
A little bit, but not much. It's not, you can't interpret
Not a problem.
certain things.
Understood.
This is kind of a curveball, and so I still would like to table it, and because I don't want to say no to an individual. I know Mike, and I respect his opinion, but I don't know enough about it myself. I would like to research it a little bit and find out, and you don't have to come back again, or whatever. If we do appoint you or don't appoint you, we don't take a vote of not appointing you. I just don't feel comfortable saying no or passing on it without me, myself, getting all the information that I.
Is there any other candidate that's more qualified? Because I think the seat is open, is it not?
Yeah,
I am a
yeah,
member of this town,
There was one, yes. But,
yeah, there was one other.
But, I mean, I'd agree.
and they got turned down? Not
What?
to
No,
interrupt
no,
you.
no.
They got turned down, the other appointee?
No,
No.
nobody's gotten turned down.
All right, well,
I think
he
what-
said there's one other one I was asking.
We just hadn't taken the action.
Yeah, we just haven't
Oh,
taken any
gotcha.
action. I prefer not to be controversial about it, because we could just, because as a position, at the end of the day, as a selectman, if legal counsel and my town clerk says, no, I probably should go along with that, even sometimes it's not I think I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and table it and just try to work through it, and
You
we'll
guys
see
know
it.
how the process works. I don't. I've
Right.
never been a
Yeah.
part
Are
of a
there-
town
oh,
government.
let me
I
just-
just moved here 2 years ago. As
No,
Mike
and I
said.
appreciate you coming in. I think that's very admirable. Are there any other, and again, not saying yes or no to this
Sure,
tonight,
yep.
but are there any other boards or committees that you potentially would be interested
Are
in?
there open seats?
Yes, a bunch of things.
I'd like a list of them then.
Okay,
We want people that are.
yeah, we want
we're-
young people
we're
that are
actually-
moving
we're-
in town and looking for
We're not trying to
people.
be discouraging
Yeah,
at all.
no,
We're
I'm not
we're-
beating you
no,
guys up.
we're-
You have,
We're thrilled that you're here, so that's,
I also, could I just follow up? I'm not sure
You
what,
need to use that microphone,
what
please,
the
Jen.
discussion is totally, because you're not saying that somebody who has had an issue with the board can't serve on that board if they're a resident, correct?
No, we
No.
Because
appointed
that
somebody
happens
last week that
all
had an
the
issue with
time.
the
That
board.
happens on the school committee all the time. That's an elected board.
That has-
But
don't
there are
think-
plenty of
that-
people who run for that office because they want to change what's going on there. So it can't be that just because you've had an issue with the board, that prohibits you from
We
serving.
just
No.
appointed somebody last week that had an issue with the board,
Yeah, so
Which
no.
board was that?
Conservation.
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 No, so
I don't have an issue
that's
with the
not-
board,
that-
to make
I think
myself
you understand
clear.
where we're coming from. Let me just, I want to finish. I think you understand where we're coming from. I don't think any of us up here were aware of that, and then we're kind of throwing us curveball.
Right, I just heard you say if your town council recommends against it, then you don't want to go forward with it necessarily, and
No,
I'm
no.
trying to clarify
I
what that
said
means.
9 out of 10 times when a town council says something, I
Listen to
follow
it.
that because I'm in a position to follow that. But I think there's a lot of leeway here. He's giving a recommendation. I mean, it's not like a legal recommendation
Right.
that's going to end up us in court. So I
And
just
it's
would
not-
like.
It's not typical for him to stand up and make a recommendation.
Exactly.
Right.
So this is all new to us. This is the
Right.
first time it's ever happened to me, and I've been
that
a
I'm
selectman.
here to witness it. I should have
Yeah.
brought people from my side.
So that's why I don't want to say no, I don't want to say yes, I just want to table it to our next meeting.
So also to be productive about the whole thing on the other open positions, since Brandon is here and is very willing,
Sitting
you
right in
know,
front of
other open positions. that
Chris
we-
is going to email him some other open seats that he'd be
That would
qualified
be
for.
fine, thank
Or
you.
not qualified, but be like council on aging, we have somebody, you're not going to want to do that.
Not a problem.
So Chris will do that and send it to him.
I need to get his email
Sure.
address.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Make a motion, Magla. You want to go through, you have a yellow one, right?
Yep,
yep.
Yeah. You want to go through it? You want to go through it, Joe?
sure. I move to appoint Mike Magliaro as the alternate gas and plumbing inspector.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move to appoint Gail Denaro to the Council on Aging through June 15th, 2018.
Second.
Joseph Publicover has turned in his certificate. Is it okay to?
Yep.
Sure, we'll do that next. So, the motion in a second.
Yep, been second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
I move to appoint Joseph Publicover as an alternate to the Council on Aging through June 15th, 2016.
Second. Any questions or concern?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye. Didn't we
Aye.
appoint for,
Margaret Dunlap? the
no,
histor-
no, for the Historical Commission, there's a blank here. Jeff Cluey last week,
Mhm.
he replaced John Thurlow.
Mhm.
How many?
I already did the letter for him because you.
But we still have an
This
empty
says that
seat
there's an
even?
open position, that's not what I was questioning. So-
Mm.
And I didn't think there was.
Why don't you double check that and we can put it on next week?
Okay. I move to appoint Margaret Dunlap to the Historic District Commission through June 15th, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to appoint Wendy Reed to the Stormwater Regulation Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Daniel Burrell to the Police Department rep for the EMA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also, Danielle No, I'm sorry, Mike Goatee turned in his certificate, if you want to do it tonight,
To
for the EMA.
EMA Water Department rep.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there, while we're on this, and not because of Brandon, but just in general for the community, so we have a opening on the Finance Committee. I believe we have an opening on the Board of Registrars. Is Gail not?
Yes.
She's,
They will,
she's not.
I left a message for her, and I sent an email twice, and she hasn't responded. In the last 3 years, she said she wasn't
Gonna do it
interested.
anymore.
And she told me like same thing like a year ago, but that was a year ago, so who knows?
also our house is on the market.
Oh, it
Right.
is? Well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so Board of Registrars, Zoning Board of Appeals, and we haven't done the car post, but I think those are like the major ones. Are there any other major ones? In case people are.
Board of
interested.
Registrars, what do you need to do?
We need to basically take the attendance at town meeting to assist during the election with watching the office,
Qualified candidates.
and basically act as a kind of a board of appeals for any election.
Anybody who doesn't get his papers in and has a write-in campaign and then asks for a recount, and they're the ones that oversee all that?
Basically, yeah. They do recount, they would also sit and make determination as to provisional ballots. But normally it's really not that, elections go pretty smooth, so. Because usually the biggest thing is that they act as the tellers and the registrars for the town meetings.
Count the votes at town meeting. Right.
Yes.
Tell her. Okay. All right.
Although, one thing with the Board of Registrars,
Yeah.
right now, we have a Democrat and an unenrolled. So usually what they try to do is have someone who's a Republican.
Balance.
That way you have balance on the board.
Usually the unenrolled, though, isn't really unenrolled.
Well, I think,
They lean.
I think we,
They lean somewhere.
yeah, but at least you can say,
Right.
that would be what some people look to have that type of balance.
Okay. Department head objective results.
So I think everybody has turned theirs in except for Glenn Closey, is that right?
Right.
I think 100% except for that one we're missing.
Is there any reason why he hasn't turned it in yet?
He was on vacation all last week, but I don't know why he wasn't.
He was, yeah, but
Before that.
he knew a month before that.
Yeah, he's known a long time.
Mike Goatee had given me his on Friday, and I tried to get it in
I saw it.
the agenda. I think I got it for Glenn. Did you get it?
I think I saw it.
And I left one on your table there, I think.
I saw it, yeah.
So what do you want to do? Tonight was the night we were going to
So I mean, I
split
think,
everything up?
yeah, I mean, I think for their objective results, I mean, on balance, everybody, had good results. Some were stronger on some areas, some were not as strong on others. So, yeah, in terms of like the performance evaluation and the objectives, I mean, they're kind of blended together. I don't know how it's been done in the past, but the elected or appointed boards or committees, I kind of think maybe they should work with their own people and that we should give them this together with their objectives and they should do that.
Sound good to you?
Yeah, I don't know, I have to say I don't quite understand what you mean.
Well,
Like Mike Goatee is
I see what
the
you mean.
elected body
Okay.
that kind of manages him as the Board of Water
right, the
Commissioners.
library is that elected body.
The library trustee.
I see what you mean now, okay, yeah.
Well, and then also there's, like Paul Savigny is managed by the Board of, they're elected too.
Mhm.
Jay, the Conservation Commission, Lee, the
They're
Planning
appointed.
Board. Right, they're appointed. I mean, Meredith is directly managed by Mike.
Mhm.
What about Teresa?
She's managed by the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
I-
So, I mean,
I see what you
the
mean.
Board
now.
of
Okay.
Selectmen directly managed people are the two Mikes in terms of the town council part, Chris, Gary, Glenn Closey, Teresa, Lisa, Mike, and Leanne. So there's 9 people. So each take 3 would be my suggestion.
Okay. Want to pull them out of a hat?
I'm fine with anybody.
Can you assign numbers to each one? 1 through 9?
Mhm.
And then email us and ask Joe first what he would like, number 1 through 9, and then ask Archie after Joe's given his results, then ask Archie for the remaining 6, and then I'll take the last 3.
Okay.
Right?
Fine with me?
But yeah, and have Mike, have Mr. Closey, if he could turn his in
Mhm.
by
I
the
just
end, by
like
the
to,
end of the week.
I'd just like to ask the directors who are here now whether they thought this was a waste of time exercise, or was it helpful having goals for the year, or
I think part of it depends on the discussion that we have too.
yeah, but personally, I was very pleased with everything I read. I thought it was good. But does it help focus, or just treading water? What do you think?
I think as long as there's a beginning, a middle, and end, it's a useful exercise. If we didn't have the final meeting, then it would be.
Why you wasting my
doing this?
time?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
other words, as long as it's realistic and we finish it from start to finish, I think it's a good exercise, because we don't get as much opportunity to meet and discuss
And get feedback.
and get feedback.
Mhm.
So it creates a good vehicle to discuss issues and where you want the direction of each department to go in. So as long as there's full circle, I'm happy with it, because it's a guide to measure ourselves individually too, to make sure that we're doing what we think.
Right.
Yeah, as long as we
you know,
follow
I don't think
through.
it's too onerous or time consuming, or I don't know. I'm just asking.
I think it only can help, and it
Yeah.
helps us too to understand the departments better.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that's a good tool, because then when we're starting to talk about budgets, we kind of understand more things. We don't take things for granted. I think it's a win-win.
Yep.
Okay. Employee evaluation process.
Yeah, just in terms of that, to help us, I mean, all the objectives and results are written in here, and this, if you look at these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
it has employee summary of accomplishment goal, and then employee accomplishments. Chris could take that, because you have them all electronically, I would presume, I hope,
What would be,
all of the goals and results you have electronically.
yes.
Everything, the goals that everybody
Well,
turned in.
Some of them gave me,
They could
the
email them.
papers,
They
and
could,
I
e-
can scan them.
they can email.
But you could scan them and get them all electronic. Why
They
don't you
can
make sure
email
you
them.
scan them and get them
So
all electronic?
so for each of them, to help us, I mean, Chris could just drop in the goal and the results, so all we have to do is the comments. So see where it says number 1, goal, just paste it in. Employee summary of accomplishments, paste it in.
For that individual.
Yeah, for each
Yep.
person,
Yep.
for each of their goals, and then turns this over to whoever's having that discussion.
With that individual.
Yeah, and you can fill in whatever you want to fill in.
If
So
it-
you
if it's
could go over-
doable,
Yep.
word processing wise, it may not be doable.
But you go,
Well, you can edit it then. She can just take everything that's there. Feel free to edit whatever you want to edit. Yeah, like there's one of them that I can think of that'd be a mile long.
we know what we want as a result. If Chris has any questions, why don't you work with her on that?
I'll
And
do
see
it.
if we can
Let's,
achieve,
we'll talk.
yeah, if we can achieve what we can. If we can't, we'll do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
All good?
Yeah.
Street opening permit application for Hilltop Circle. Gary? Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Selectmen schedule meetings for August and September. Chris, anybody have any dates? You guys have any vacation or any dates that we want to move things around to make everything more palatable for everybody?
They There
Uh,
was something that I wanted you to, look at, and I think it's in August.
Well, can we just do July 1st?
Sure.
Okay, so today is July 13th.
So July 27th.
So we're gonna have a meeting on the 27th. Chris, is that gonna be all right for you?
Yes.
You're gonna be out.
I'm going to get it on just a rough
Preliminary
agenda,
agenda.
and
Mm-hmm.
then Michael said he would put it up, post it.
And fill it in, anything else that would,
Yes.
they would come to me, it would come to Michael, then I would approve it or whatever.
He'll have to check.
What are we
With
doing
you
about
on
office,
Thursday.
there? You'll change your voicemail and say that you're gonna be on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything that's immediate attention, please call the town clerk office at
I
11
always say that.
110. Okay, perfect. And then, Mike, you know to contact me if anything, and then I can talk to these guys, okay? So we're gonna have one on the 27th. And what was the thing that you wanted us to look at in August?
Actually, I was looking at it. The meeting would fall on Monday the 7th, which is Labor Day. So
You're
I
in
wondered.
September.
That's
whether-
September.
You're in September.
September. Yeah.
Okay, so August, were you,
I'm fine with August.
you were fine with August? You fine with August?
Yeah.
Okay,
What are the dates, please?
I'm sorry. They're the 10th and the 24th. Okay, so why don't we have the meeting in September on the 14th and the 28th?
You'll still
They
have to
get
pay.
payroll.
Oh, the payroll.
Unless you want to do it on the 8th.
8th is fine with me.
8th is fine with you?
Do what?
Have a meeting on the 8th,
Well, let me,
Tuesday.
before, just so you know too, since we're talking about the whole month, the week of the 21st, I can't come, which is perfectly fine. It's a payroll week, so, I mean, you guys have the meeting. I'm just be out of town for business.
So we'll just make sure we don't put anything on the meeting.
Do what you need to do, but. yeah.
We will, but I don't want anything on the meeting that will take a major discussion or major decisions on September 21st. Just I want generic stuff, because Joe's not gonna be here. And then, are you all right with September 8th, a Tuesday? Are they tough for you?
Let me check that one.
Yeah, because then, if that's no good, then
Yeah, there was something, but that's not an issue, okay.
Is the time still good
It's
for you?
okay, yeah, it's fine,
You sure?
yeah.
Because I know some days you want it a little bit later if it could be.
If it could be 7:15, that would be better, yeah.
Okay, so our meeting on the 8th will be 7:15,
Okay.
okay? And then we'll have the one on the 21st.
just thinking ahead a little bit too.
Sure.
I know you don't have October, the calendar here, but typically we have a special town meeting at the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, potentially we could have October 5th, 19th with a special town meeting on the 26th of October. Election day is the following week. I mean, isn't that when we usually have it?
We have no election this year.
Oh, there's no election. Sorry, November 3rd, I'm just automatically thinking
Okay,
it's election
so
day.
can you, did you hear that, Mike? Mike B?
Yes.
Okay, could you kind of check that and think if that's going to work and talk with our department heads and then confirm that, and then we can get it out there already?
I would suggest that we get it out there. There was between all the retirees at the Department of Revenue, we're in a reval year. We're really trying to stay on top of things to get our stuff in early because, you know, they lost.
So what do you want us
about-
to do?
I think that's a good date right now to set it.
I was going to say, how do you define early? Yeah.
Is that all right with you,
Yeah,
Gary,
as
everything?
long as it's October, that gives us a chance to
Mike?
get our rate certified.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
We're gonna run into, remember, what was it? The Columbus Day, so you have to get it in, like, the October 5th would be when you have to, I think, close the warrant. So you might wanna think about maybe having,
26 would be, yeah, 2 weeks, 10 days, so 10 days. Actually, it'd have to be the 9th, wouldn't it? The
Right,
Friday before.
and that's what I'm saying, is so that your meeting on the 5th will be the day when you have to vote on the warrant. So you might wanna have a meeting the week before, that they meet with, you know,
FinCom.
the town moderator and everyone at that
Okay.
point.
Let's see how many, I mean, you're right. Let's see how many articles there are first, and if we need to do
So you
that.
want to vote on the, so you want us to do it, Joe, so we can get it out? You
Yes.
can get it out and
I'm
say that-
always in favor of getting stuff out early,
Yeah,
yes.
so let's do it. So let's vote on it tonight, and then Mike B can say our fall town meeting is going to be, and you can set up the warrant schedule. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So what is it?
October 26th.
Okay, October 26th at 7 o'clock in the annex.
And then we'll, go
What?
ahead, Mike.
Monday. Okay? What's the matter? You don't seem,
Well,
what's up?
is that, the thing is that, that means that only be, you know, if you have to vote on it October 5th, basically, the only one you'd really be able to discuss, you know, the articles would be the September 21st one, when Joe wouldn't be here.
Well, I mean, we could have a meeting on the 28th.
28th.
Yeah.
Instead of having the 21st one, maybe have it on the 28th and the 5th.
Or just have a quick one on.
You know what? Why don't we do that? That's an excellent idea. Why don't we have a meeting on the 21st, but you and I just come in
Do
and
the
do,
payroll.
and do
Do
the
the
payroll,
payroll
and
and
that's
stuff.
it. But have a meeting on the 28th,
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
That way you have that meeting to really discuss the articles, then you finalize it on the 5th.
That sound good?
That's a great
That's
idea,
good.
Mike.
Okay. Can you make sure that you, and work with Mike on the schedule, we get them all to the department heads of when they need to be in, when the discussion needs to be, and please contact the FinCom,
Yes, so they start working like right off the bat.
so they understand.
Do they need to get the articles in by a certain date? Or
Well, that's what you
Michael's
and,
gonna
you and Mike are gonna work on.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for bringing that up, Joe.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of June 15th as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 As on June 29th as amended.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Minutes of June 1st, 2015 with revisions. Any questions?
Nope. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I did that because you had already approved it once, but when I went through the executive session, you had that little bit at the end.
Yep.
Okay.
When we came out of executive
Yep.
session into open session.
Make a motion to approve the invoice warrants.
Second.
Any discussion or any questions?
There was, I don't know if they were invoice or payroll, and I did not go look. There was a whole bunch of signatures missing. I don't know if they're there now.
Oh, some payroll.
Oh, payroll?
Yeah, I was
I mean, I
out,
don't-
because we had a split payroll, but I signed them
So they're
earlier
there.
today.
Okay.
They're all signed.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the payroll warrant.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain. Anything, placing things on future agenda?
We okay on the air handlers?
Please, no, please.
Hopefully the 15th.
If they ask. I'll stop at Labor Day.
Okay, thank you.
You hope.
No, I will. School's in session, so I.
Yeah, then he's got to hold up the school,
The,
schedule.
Okay, so we finalized, as you have on the agenda, we finalized the contract with Spencer and Volk. The Legion had to do some extra paperwork in order to make sure that their corporate governance is in the correct manner. Bob Janes informed me today that he thinks that has been done. I will check. So essentially, they are, I prepared a deed, and they're ready to sign it and get it over to.
He's talking about the Legion, you were talking about the air handlers.
Yeah.
I know.
I think he's getting to it.
This is another issue, I mean,
Oh.
that's 50. But I might, to put on the future agenda, did you want to have some type of license or something for the present Legion to be able to use the building during this time, or
I don't know.
what?
Get all your stuff worked out and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so that's just, I'm alerting you to the fact is that we'll be ready to take a deed to that at any time within the next.
When all that's taken care of, then we'll entertain recommendations on how we should handle it.
Okay, but they're gonna, Spencer Road's gonna start work
That's fine.
immediately.
Good.
So-
Good.
All right, excellent. The air handlers?
Bids are due Wednesday.
Thank you. After that's done, could you wouldn't mind, when that's all done, would you shoot her an email, then she could send it out to us with an FYI? Okay,
What do we need to do to schedule a public hearing for no parking within 100 feet of the intersection of Whetstone and Sullivan's Court, Whetstone Street and Sullivan's Court?
Mike, if you can make sure we draw all that up,
I
give
mean,
it to her, and if it has to be on a future agenda, tell her to put it on a future agenda
Let's start the process.
and start the process, please. Okay.
Last thing is, and there's no urgency to this at all, but the Dunn property is apparently no longer being farmed, so that has a pretty short window that if it's not farmed, it'll turn. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but trees will start to grow.
Gary's maintaining that.
They're supposed to be coming in, I thought they'd already done it to cut the hay off it.
Oh, they may have. I don't know.
They haven't done it,
Yeah, but Gary's working and he's maintaining, making sure
So you're maintaining it.
Yep.
So it's,
After that, I told them to come in with a letter or something, you guys, and have his intentions, what they want to do.
Yep.
If you
He's
want-
helping, Gary's taking care of it and Farmer's taking care of it to make sure it stays the proper thing so it does, we don't lose it.
right.
We should do that.
That was what the concern.
Yep, no, Gary called me,
Fields also, there should be some-
The what fields?
We have other properties that should be, same type of thing.
Okay.
I don't know what's
if you want to give us, if you
Are
want to
you-
give us a list and a recommendation of what to do, maybe some local farmers, like we used to do up where the solar field is now, and they brought the cars in there. If you want to give us a list and some recommendations, I'll, sound good?
Yeah, we got several fields that could be hay, but
No.
it takes a little investment for the person to put it into hay.
I understand, but it helps us because then all of a sudden you don't have, 1 year, you don't have trees like that, and in 2 years, then it's all gone.
Yeah, well, they mentioned something about the other field up there, putting corn, I said, I don't think we want corn, we want.
No,
we want
no.
more hay fields.
No.
When you're done, you still. got
Yeah,
fields,
there's no corn.
you know.
Right.
Too much erosion issues with it.
Good.
Thank you.
Did you have anything?
No.
Archie? Okay, make a motion to accept all the correspondence as read.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. One thing I do want to note, it's movie night this Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Please come. There'll be free popcorn and water, and the movie is Frozen.
And I don't think it's going to rain, but if it does rain, is there what's the contingency plan? Oh, you're going to.
Work that out with the chief at the end of the day.
Well, it's Wednesday.
No, there's another one planned already, and we'll plan another one after that, hopefully.
Oh, so in other words,
It's
if
canceled.
it
If it
rains,
rains, it's
it get
canceled.
it get canceled.
It's a huge screen. You can't do it inside.
Right. Okay.
If it rains, it's canceled, but the second one, we're showing Big Hero 6.
So
And
is
if that one, we'll hopefully try and plan another one after that one.
so how's that decided and communicated? If it's, I mean, obviously, if it's pouring down rain, but if it's like marginal.
Call dispatch. Dispatch will know.
All right, because I'm in communication with Lisa, so, yes.
Yep.
If
And,
they
I'll call Lisa tomorrow morning. She'll love that.
Do reverse 911.
Make, you have a few things to sign, gentlemen, here and over there. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.